National Grid's proposed liquefied natural gas facility would contribute to climate change and further perpetuate the environmental racism imposed on the residents of Washington Park and South Providence. National Grid would like to portray these areas as industrial, but they fail to mention that as many people here have attested to, that these are also residential areas. These neighborhoods are in the 95th to 99th percentile for environmental racism due to chemical risk proximity and demographic makeup. They also have the highest levels of asthma in the state. All 11 polluters recorded by the EPA in Providence are within a 1-mile radius of the proposed site. The close proximity of these sites to one another means that an incident at one facility could trigger a domino effect for the surrounding toxic facilities. A lethal explosion or leak in the plant could prove devastating to the residents of Washington Park and South Providence and the greater Providence area. The proposed plant would have a 14-mile hazard radius, which would nearly cover the entire state of Rhode Island and put 110,000 school children at risk. The state's only level 1 trauma center and various facilities that serve women and children all fall within the hazard radius of the proposed plant. The plant will not benefit the Rhode Island economy. The profits of the LNG, which will be exported out of state, will go to the National Grid, while the plant's $180 million construction costs will increase taxes for Rhode Islanders. National Grid argues that the plant will give Rhode Islanders more energy security, but we already have a contingency plan in place for the few cold days a year where we may need extra energy. Additionally, running the proposed plant would require 15 megawatts of energy, which would offset local renewable energy gains. Building the LNG plant would lock us into decades of dangerous carbon emissions and make it impossible for Rhode Island to meet its targets established by the Rhode Island Act. Instead of investing in dangerous fossil fuel infrastructure, we should invest in home weatherization and climate resilient efforts. To continue with the development of the proposed facility betrays our obligations to the environment and our people. The people of the Port of Providence and Rhode Islanders as a whole deserve a just transition toward cleaner and climate resiliency. Thank you.